Have you ever looked at your life and thought, there has to be more than this? That quiet, restless ache, the feeling that the walls are beginning to close in, that the rules are just too tight, that the world out there is holding something so much better. The grass is greener on the other side, something's much brighter, but just out of reach. This is where the story begins, not with a mistake, but with a desire. And as we read in Luke 15:11-32, an account of a father with two sons. Now the younger one looked at his father, a man who had given him everything, and essentially says to his father, I want you to give me my inheritance, but I don't want you. I wish you dead. Give me my share. You see, when you understand the culture of that day, to want your inheritance and to ask for that without the father's presence is to wish that parent's death without remorse. When you understand the culture, it was a breathtaking rejection, a wound straight to the heart. But the father didn't argue. He didn't lock the doors on his son. He simply divided his life's work and he let his son walk away. Because love that is forced, well, it isn't love at all. So the son, he packed his bags and left for a distant country. To be distant is to reject what the father already had for him. Now at first, it must have felt like he was flying. There are no rules, no watchful eyes, just freedom. Now he spent his wealth on wild living, chasing every thrill, buying for friends, drinking and marrying in the world until there was nothing left. Nothing. That is, until the money ran out. And it always does, doesn't it? The things we chase to fill the void eventually leaves us emptier than we felt before. Now a severe famine had hit that land, and suddenly the son who had everything, the father had given him everything, was left with nothing. He was invisible and he was all alone, and he found himself at the lowest place imaginable, feeding pigs. He was so hungry, he longed to eat even the pods that the pigs were feasting on, but no one gave him anything. The world that had once welcomed him with open arms didn't even know his name. But in that mud, in that desperate, starving silence, something had shifted. Now the story goes on and it says, he came to himself. In other words, this son had come to his senses, and he remembered his father's house. He remembered that even his father's hired servants had food to spare. And in that moment of brutal clarity, he had realized the truth. His freedom had become his own prison, and he rehearsed his speech. Father, I have sinned against thee. Heaven and earth witnesses against me. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants, the son said. He wasn't asking for his place back. He just wanted to survive. And he carried the heavy weight of that shame in leaving his father's house and squandering everything that he had, step by agonizing step, back down the road he so proudly walked away from. But here is the part of the story that changes everything. Now, while the son was still a long way off, his father saw him. Now, you think about that. The father wasn't sitting in his house or waiting for an apology. He was watching upon the horizon. He'd been watching every single day. And when the father saw that familiar son, his silhouette broken and dirty, defeated, the father didn't cross his arms. He didn't demand the rehearsed speech. He didn't even ask for the money that the son had squandered. He ran to his son. Now, if you understand anything about this culture in the Middle East, in that culture, a dignified older man, you didn't run. He would have had to have lifted up his robes, therefore exposing his legs. So you just didn't do that in the Middle Eastern cultures. That would have been taken on shame in that town. But the father didn't care about his dignity. Instead, he cared about his son, his lost son, his prodigal son, and he threw his arms around his filthy, smelly son and he kissed him. The son then tried to get the words out, "Father, I have left you and I'm no longer worthy to serve you. I've squandered everything, my inheritance, and I've returned empty-handed." But the father wasn't even listening to the apology. He was already calling to the servants, "Quick, bring the best robe and put it on my son. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring him the fattened calf, the best, and maim it. Let's have a feast and let's celebrate my son coming home. For this son of mine was dead and now he is alive again. He was lost, but now he is found." He didn't make him earn his way back into his father's presence or even into his father's household. He didn't put him on probation. He restored him completely, instantly, with a grace so scandalous it would take your breath away. But the story doesn't end there. There was an older son that was left behind when the younger son had walked away with the inheritance. Now the one who had stayed, the one who did everything right, when he heard the music and the dancing, he found out that his brother was back and he was furious and he refused to go in and join the celebration. "Look," he told his father, "all these years I've been slaving for you. I've been working for you, never disobeyed your orders, yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends." But when his son, this son of yours, who has left his place, squandered everything, your property that you gave him, and you even killed the best calf to celebrate him. Now this older brother was just as lost as his younger brother. He was at home with his father. He saw his father not as a dad to be loved, but as a boss to be appeased. He thought his obedience would earn him that wage, missing the fact that he already had that inherited estate. And once again, that father left the party and he went out to the angry, bitter son, just as he had run to the broken, rebellious one. "My son," the father said gently, "you are always with me, and everything I have is already yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because this, your brother, who was once dead, is now alive, who was once lost, but now he is found." The story ends there, and it hangs in the air, and it seems unfinished. We never do find out if the older brother actually went to the party, and that's because this story really isn't about the two brothers. It's about me. It's about you. Which son are you today? Are you the younger one, running on empty, covered in the mud of your own choices, wondering if you've gone too far to be ever welcomed back into the Father's house? Or are you the older one, doing all the right things, but carrying a heart full of bitterness, feeling unseen, unrewarded, standing outside the party of grace? Now, only the oldest son hasn't realized he already had the inheritance of the Father. He neither had to work for his inheritance or plead for it from his Father. It was already his to take. Now, how many sitting in churches are just like that older son, that you haven't yet inherited what has already been given to you? How many of us are doing religion instead of inherited grace? And how many are riding on the backs of friends, family, or duty without owning your inheritance for yourself? Whichever one you are, the Father is the same. He is looking down the road for you. He is coming out of the house for you. You don't have to clean yourself up first. You don't have to be perfect or even apologize. Coming to God is not the giving up of your life choices or the life you now lead. You just have to turn around, repent. Repent is to have a change of mind. The Father is already running and welcoming you home. Notice that the Father's running. The Son isn't. The Father was always watching and waiting for you to come home. And it cost you nothing, but it cost him everything. When we read in John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever should believe on him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Choose this day whom you will serve.